Well, hello there, friends. A couple of you made a request a while ago about plant spacing. So let's talk about it. I'm going to explain it using cups. So each cup represents a different type of plant. So we have our trees, we have our veggies and root crops, and then we have coffee cups. Our coffee cups are going to represent our beneficial plants, such as like ground covers, like clover that helps put nitrogen back in the ground, and different flowers and stuff that help with bringing in beneficial insects. So, most plants that are the same species, so if I had a bunch of these together, absolutely love growing next to each other. And in fact, there's a lot of science that shows a lot of plants actually help each other, especially if it's of the same seed crop. They'll help if one plant's low on something, another one's high. They'll exchange back and forth. Plants talk to each other. Now, plants also, if there is a different plant nearby, they will compete. Some will even choke out. There's some different ficuses and stuff that stranglehold. So that's something to think about. How do your plants work well together? I guarantee if you've looked up any plant cropping and planting guide, you've seen plants that work well together. And then there's plants that don't work well together. So, my question, and this is where I'm going to come from, is where in the world that happens naturally do you see a monoculture? And I'll answer for you, you don't. The only place you ever see a monoculture is if it's on a farm. A human being does it. It doesn't occur in nature. And what you have are, if you go look at permaculture principles, there's something called layering, and you're taking up different spaces of the soil. Because it turns out every plant has a height and nutrient requirement and also a usefulness. And what that plant likes to do and where it likes to thrive. The better that you build up your ecosystem in your soil, the more that you're going to be able to get away with. So if you're on a very fresh patch of ground, or you had a property like my old place was, that the people before me used it as a chop shop, and I would dig up spark plugs and oil, and eventually, enough time, got it to where it fixed itself and built up the mycorrhizae underneath that just took care of everything. That's another video. So, for the simple question of plant spacing, it's really complex. It really depends on what kind of ground you have, what ecosystem do you have, how much rain do you get. Are you getting 7 inches like they are in Phoenix per year? Are you getting 40 like in tropical rainforest? Like now we're talking feet. And that's going to deter how hot is it, how many hours of sun, because like in Arizona, we really have to think about the sun because it's so dry. You lose a lot of water to transpiration, water just sweating into the atmosphere trying to equal. So for us, let's say you have a veggie plant. Well, you put a tree to help shade that plant. You make sure they play nice to each other, and there's different trees for different stuff. In a perfect world, this is either a nitrogen fixer or a fruit tree. And then, around it, we like to put beneficials. If it's a low growing, we probably don't want to do clover. Clover loves to cover, it acts like a living mulch, but it's also really aggressive because clover puts down roots and breaks up really bad soil. So if it can thrive in that just nasty environment, imagine once you start putting it into a great place. Clover is a great pioneering plant. It's like size, and all of a sudden, you're starting to see, we start getting a lot of plants together. All of a sudden, this guy is protected. There's an ecosystem going on. Some plants play nice with others. And once you've gotten this whole design and thing down, it works really well. That's what I love to do because it's super easy. Everything kind of takes care of itself. You have your insect stuff taken care of. You have your ground covers taken care of. You have your trees that help protect the plants and bring in birds, which again, more insect stuff, and then birds do what birds do, and now we have fertilization processes going. The leaves drop, now we have another active mulch, and then the leaves break down, now we have another like, you see where I'm going with this. The reason that you don't see this on big commercial farms, how easy do you think it could be to get a tractor and do that cleanly? Wouldn't be. You have to go by hand. So that's where a lot of guys, and that was kind of the appeal of farming and using these fertilizers and whatnot, came into play, because they could actually take one machine and do acres upon acres of it, where this is meant to stay in place and take care of itself. And you can go do what human beings do, which is take care of your environment, make it the best it can be, and then go be a human being. Go talk and make community. Like that's the idea. Not, I'm gonna slave down till dusk just so I can put a piece of corn on my plate. That's not the idea. So if you have acres, that's what I would suggest. If you're gonna use a chemical fertilizer, I don't suggest. It's not very healthy to the soil. You create these imbalances, and again, another video. But something you wanna do, rock on, you can learn from it. I'm telling you, this is the easiest way. It's the least stressful way, and it's the least intensive way, work-wise. So, if you want to know about plant spacing, go kill a couple plants. Practice. Learn it. Find what you like. Very rarely have I ever found something in a book and it fits perfectly. Chances are we all live in different places on this beautiful rock flying through space at 80,000 miles an hour or whatever it is. Find what works in your spot. Find out that, hey, sometimes a plant struggles really hard like this, thrives like that. Or here, because this is where the wind comes through. Or here, because a particular songbird that comes through likes to nestle in the cooler part of the tree. Like, it's that crazy, and that's why I observe and look. You can look all you want, and it's free. You just get to be outside. Nice price to pay. So, I'd start with, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to grow billions of these things? Or are you trying to create an environment, an ecosystem, a healthy part of the planet that requires as little input from you as possible? And then start putting pieces together. And then, okay, that was kind of cool. I can actually get away with this. All right, hey, the first year I couldn't do that. Now, soil's getting to a point. The life of the soil is getting so abundant. I found this out. Because ideally, because if you can't find the plant, neither can the insects. Create an ecosystem, plant spacing kind of becomes a very flexible thing. Permaculture principles, man. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.